Now, if I could use one word to describe the Buffalo Sabres, I would use the word failure. But if I could use multiple words, I would say this franchise is the biggest failure of all time. They're an absolute dumpster fire. This poverty franchise has absolutely nothing going for them whatsoever. You've had so many first overall picks, so many amazing talents brought to this team, but somehow you screwed up every time. Like literally every time you make a move, you made the wrong move. I don't know how that's possible, but over the past decade, you have made dozens of trades, and somehow every single time you're on the losing end of it. There is no way that it's humanly possible that you can make 25 different trades, and every trade you made, you were on the losing end. That just shouldn't be possible. But yet here the Buffalo Sabres are the biggest dumpster fire in the NHL. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to trade every player on the Buffalo Sabres. Now normally when I do a video like this, I would trade the entire team except for one or two players. Like I would trade the entire Buffalo Sabres team except for Tage Thompson, or I would trade the entire Buffalo Sabres team away but keep Rasmus Dahlin. But I don't want to keep these guys in Buffalo anymore. I want them to see success elsewhere. They shouldn't have to suffer in Buffalo any longer. So yeah, I'm going to trade this entire team away. Every player on the Buffalo Sabres roster and every player in the Buffalo Sabres system will be traded away. We have 49 contracts on this team, a couple guys who haven't even signed yet, but every player you see right here will be traded away. It's going to be a fresh start for the Buffalo Sabres. Every single person on this team will be traded away. Now the first trade we're going to make here is actually going to be a realistic one, but more than likely we're going to be losing this deal. JJ Peterka, I will send you over to the Utah Hockey Club. Michael Kesselring and Josh Doan are both going to be acquired. This is the exact trade that happened in real life. However, I don't think we're getting both of these players. I think we're just going to be walking away with Kesselring here, and we're not even getting Kesselring. We actually have to throw in a 7th round pick. This is ridiculous. But then again, I shouldn't really be surprised. It only makes sense that in trade number 1, we're actually coming out on the losing end. The Utah Hockey Club are going to get JJ Peterka here, but they're also not going to have to give up Josh Doan. Yeah, we got fleeced in deal number 1. But then again, we just have to keep out the Buffalo Sabres tradition. Like this team is known for getting fleeced. Like they get fleeced constantly, so it only makes sense in deal number 1 we get fleeced. Now while I try to figure out what trade number 2 is going to be, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 86k before NHL 26 drops, and that's only a few weeks away, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit the button down below and drop a like while you're at it. So this is what I'm looking at when it comes to trade number 2. Tage Thompson, I'm going to send you over to a good young developing team, the Montreal Canadiens. We're going to get Slafkovsky in the deal, but I think Montreal is perfectly fine with giving up Slafkovsky if they're going to be walking away with Tage Thompson. We're also going to try to get Jake Evans in this deal. I don't think we're going to be able to go 1 for 2. We're likely going to have to throw a couple draft picks in this deal, maybe even a prospect or two. Ideally, I don't give up a prospect, so hopefully a 2nd round pick is going to be enough here, and it looks like it will be. Slafkovsky and Jake Evans, welcome to the team. Okay, before I make this next trade, I just want to point something out. This is the official NHL 25 roster, so I have not touched this roster whatsoever. I haven't edited attributes, player typing, potentials, nothing. When I go over to the Vancouver Canucks, explain why Brock Besser and Hronik's trade values are so low. They shouldn't be this low. Brock Besser hasn't signed an extension yet. Hronik's locked down for the next 8 seasons. They are an 87 and 86 overall. I'm going to trade Zach Benson and Samuelson, and I might be able to get both of these guys. That shouldn't be possible. I'm sorry, but in what universe is Zach Benson and Matthias Samuelson enough for Hronik and Brock Besser? I'm not going to complain about it. Like, that's an amazing trade for us, but what are we talking about here? Like, why on earth does Jake Evans basically have the exact same trade value as Brock Besser? That doesn't make sense to me. So the Anaheim Ducks are going to be supplying us with 2 great players here. Both of them are on their entry-level contracts still. Cutter Gaucher and Zellweger are going to be brought in for Owen Power and Jason Zucker. We're going to get rid of the Jason Zucker contract. Unfortunately, this is a little bit low. You already know what we got to do. We're bringing out the lucrative 7th round pick. I'm going to give you Washington's 7th round pick because Buffalo's is a bit too valuable. Now, this one's going to be a smaller move, but I think it has potential for us. Peyton Krebs and Connor Clifton are going to be sent over to the Nashville Predators. We're bringing in Matthew Wood. He's a good young player, 77 overall at 19 years old. And then, of course, stick on the ice legend Luke Evangelista is going to be joining the team as well. I'm not expecting these guys to be superstars for me, but they could probably play some 4th line minutes in year number 1. We're going to have to throw a couple draft picks in this deal. A 4th rounder is probably going to be enough, and it looks like it will be. Now, in reality, the main reason I'm making this deal is to free up a roster spot here, but we're going to be getting Riker Evans, who's going to be a huge upgrade for us. We're not going to be able to get this 3rd round pick, but we should be able to get a 4th rounder. Like, we're walking away with some sort of draft compensation here, here, and it looks like it's going to be that 4th round pick. Now we're about to make a blockbuster deal here, but first I have to acquire a 2nd rounder and 2 3rd round picks from the Islanders. Through making a deal like this, we free up another 2 roster spots, and that gives us enough space to make the big trade. Now this is what the big trade's going to look like. You remember how earlier I said something was wrong and players' trade values seem to be way lower than they normally are? Well, that's the same with the Dallas Stars, because we're going to make a deal with them, and we're going to bring Jason Robertson to the team. We're also going to bring in Thomas Harley, and we're going to bring in Wyatt Johnston. We're bringing in all 3 of these players for Rasmus Dahlin. Do I understand how this deal is happening? Absolutely not. What about this deal makes any sense? None of it. But somehow we're going to pull off this trade. We might even be able to get a 2nd and 3rd rounder as well. They're saying no to that. I'll take the 2nd round pick out. Can we walk away with a 3rd if we throw in a 7th? If we throw in a 7th round pick, we're going to turn Rasmus Dahlin and the 7th round pick from the Buffalo Sabres into Jason Robertson, Thomas Harley, and Wyatt Johnston. This is the official roster, by the way. I have no clue why trade values are lower than normal. Now, I wouldn't mind picking up some defensive support here. So Alex Tuch, I'm going to send you over to the Edmonton Oilers. We're bringing in Jake Wallman, but on top of that, the more important piece, stick on the ice legend Trent Frederick. Very rarely do I actually trade for Trent Frederick. Most of the time I pick him up in free agency, but that's not going to be the case here. Instead, we're going to be trading for him. I'll throw in a 4th round pick. I don't think that's going to be enough. We're going to do multiple 4th rounders in this deal. We actually have a fair amount of draft picks to work with, so this trade shouldn't be too difficult. They want a little bit more. Is that going to be another 4th rounder? More than likely. So here's a 4th rounder from the Edmonton Oilers. It's going to be Alex Tuch and 3 4th rounders, Jake Wallman and Trent Frederick. Welcome to the team. Just kidding. They're saving salary to re-sign their pending free agents. Why didn't you just tell me this from the very beginning? Now, we weren't able to pull off a trade with Alex Tuch and 3 4th rounders with the Edmonton Oilers, so we're going to do it with the New Jersey Devils. Siegenthaler and Dawson Mercer, welcome to the team. You're actually going to help the salary cap situation on this team, because right now we're trending to fall below the cap floor, and we can't allow that to happen. So Alex Tuch and 4 4th round picks for Siegenthaler and Dawson Mercer. They're saying no. Let's turn some of these 4th round picks into 3rd round picks. So I'll do 2 3rd rounders and 2 4th rounders along with Alex Tuch. Give me Siegenthaler and Dawson Mercer. They need a little bit more. One of these 3rd round picks will be turned into a 2nd. Actually, we'll turn both 3rd round picks into a 2nd, and that probably is enough to get this deal done. Never mind, we need another 3rd round pick. So we're going to do Alex Tuch, 2 4th rounders, a 2nd rounder and a 3rd rounder. Siegenthaler and Dawson Mercer, welcome to the team. Those are going to be 2 great additions to the club. Now, Josh Norris, I really don't need you on the team, and I definitely don't need your $8 million cap hit. So Philly, you can absorb all that for a 2nd and 3rd round pick. I actually don't even care about the 3rd round pick. Just give me a 2nd rounder and we'll call it fair. Now, Josh Norris is actually going to be helping us quite a bit, because now we're going to flip that 2nd rounder along with Kulich and Bo Byram. Will Cooley and Brain Schneider, welcome to the team. Those are 2 really cheap contracts, but maybe we should start taking on some heavier contracts, because right now our cap hit is $57 million. That is well below the cap floor. Now, you know what? Very rarely do I make this trade. Only in certain instances do I make this trade. But if we're going to win the Buffalo Sabres a Stanley Cup over the next 5 years, because this is going to be a 5-year rebuild, I never mentioned that part, but yeah, we're doing this for the next 5. We need this man on the team. He sets the culture. He changes the way we play the game. Andre Burakovsky, welcome to Buffalo. Now, earlier in this video, I said I'm trading everyone in the Buffalo Sabres system, and when I said that, I mean literally everyone. AHL players, CHL players, it doesn't matter. You can be an unsigned player, but if you're in the Buffalo Sabres system, we're not keeping you here, so we're going to make this trade with Montreal. We probably could have gotten a draft pick, but I'm not too worried about that. Shout out to Kiefer Bellows. Why am I shouting him out here? I have no clue, but we're going to be acquiring him for Jordan Greenway. Basically, this was the only team on Jordan Greenway's modified no trade clause that was actually interested in him. This was basically just the simplest way to get him off the books. Now, I'm going to show you a majority of the trades, but I'm not going to show you a lot of trades like this, where I'm just going to be trading some of the lowest value players on our team for a 7th round pick. Like right now, I'm trying to trade 3 guys that basically have no value whatsoever, and I can't even get a 7th rounder for them. So if 3 players are enough, how about 4? Can I trade 4 of these AHL guys over to the LA Kings for 1 7th round pick? They're still saying no. I'll give you a 7th rounder. Like, I don't even care if I have to give you a 6th round pick just to get this deal done. I just want to get these contracts off the books here. When I say we're trading everyone, I mean we're literally trading everyone. Now, we're finally going to be trading one of our goaltenders, Devin Levi. Thank you for the amazing couple months here. You really weren't here with the team that long. But I'm going to trade you and Helenas over to the Calgary Flames. Honzek and Connor Zary are going to be joining the team. They're going to be 2 good players for the bottom 6, but we probably should trade for a goaltender. Now, when it comes to our future goaltender, I'm going to bring in a guy that we saw a lot in NHL 24. Jeremy Swayman. I haven't had you in very many of my rebuilds so far in NHL 25, but with this being one of the last videos, I'm bringing you to the team. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and a couple of later round picks can be sent over to Boston. Welcome to the team, Jeremy Swayman. Now, if we brought Jeremy Swayman in to be our starting goaltender, we still need a backup, and that backup's going to be Joel Hofer. for. But since we're trading for Joel Holfer, we might as well pick up Jimmy Snuggerud while we're at it. I think 1 third-round pick is going to be enough. I guess not. We got to throw in another late-round draft pick. So here's a 7th rounder from the Philadelphia Flyers. Is that going to be enough? It looks like it will be. Now we're actually making back-to-back moves with the St. Louis Blues because now they have a bit more roster space. So I'm going to give you 2 of our guys in the AHL for 2 third-round picks. Now Michael Bunting, you're not on the greatest contract in the world, but we do need to reach the salary cap floor, and that's what you're going to help us do. So we're going to be picking you up for the next 2 years at $4.5 million. Unfortunately, this package right here isn't enough, and we really shouldn't be surprised at that because we're not really giving them anything of value. However, we're going to give them something very valuable, the Boston Bruins 7th round pick. We all know 7th round picks are incredibly valuable, so here's 2 7th round picks, and this should be enough to get the deal done. Michael Bunting, welcome to the team. All right, hold on now. Are we actually going to somehow get Tolvanen in this deal? I think we're going to have to throw a 7th round pick in the deal, which we probably have to. I know they're not really interested in Korczak, but who cares? Here's a 7th round pick from the Colorado Avalanche. Is this right here enough for Tolvanen? I think it might be. They don't want Tyson Korczak. I understand that, but I know if I give you more than enough, you'll likely accept this deal. So here's a 5th round pick as well. Trade value wise, we're giving them more than enough. Can I get Tolvanen? No, we just fleeced there. Now with that move complete, we've actually traded all the forwards and defensemen we have to. Now we're just moving goaltenders. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Why does this guy have 4 years on his entry-level contract? He is 20 years old and he's on a 4-year entry-level contract. I've never seen that before. I'm assuming it's a bug or something. But yeah, we have somebody on a 4-year entry-level contract. That's crazy. I'm trying to trade James Reimer away so we can get Scott Wedgwood. I'll throw a 6th round pick into the deal, and that's certainly going to be enough to get Wedgwood. Now we need to make one more trade, and then we have our new Buffalo Sabres team that has a lot of cap space. Like, I could have just made this significantly easier and got rid of the salary cap floor, but that's not how we're doing things here. Now our final trade is going to be completed with the Calgary Flames. Devin Cooley, welcome to the team. We're going 1-for-1 here. Don't know why that's a no-brainer for you guys. I actually think we got the better player. I don't know what they're doing over there in Calgary. So here's the new Buffalo Sabres. Wyatt Johnston, Thomas Harley, and Slafkovsky on the top line. Will Cooley, Jake Evans, Brock Besser on the second line. There is one problem on this team. We have one playmaker in Wyatt Johnston. I didn't realize that when I was making my trades. Yeah, we only have one playmaker. The rest of this team is not playmakers. They're either power forwards or snipers. We have a couple two-way forwards, but certainly not enough playmakers here. The defense looks spectacular. Nobody is getting past this defense, and then we have Jeremy Swayman in between the pipes. As long as he has a great defense in front of him, he's going to have amazing numbers this season. I think the team's going to see a lot of success. So let's go ahead and simulate up to the trade deadline, watch the Buffalo Sabres dominate, and then win a Stanley Cup in year number 1. And then I can prove I'm a better GM than Kevin Adams. Then again, the bar's not set too high. Okay, there's a slight problem that I might have overlooked. And when I say might have, I mean completely overlooked. It's the day before the trade deadline. Brock Besser, it's time to give you an extension. We probably have a lot of money to work with. Oh, $7.1 million. We don't have that much money to work with. So Brock Besser, I'm going to try to keep you on this team. I'll do a modified no trade clause. I'm not 100% sure if this contract is going to be enough to keep you on the team. And I don't really want to simulate past the trade deadline, not knowing whether or not you're going to be returning to the team. So we might be trading Brock Besser here. Will Cooley, Riker Evans, Luke Evangelista. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we're likely going to be making some trades here at the deadline. Oh yeah, never mind. Brock Besser's gone. Bro has 15 goals this season. What are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? During the 2023-2024 season, you took 204 shots and scored 40 goals. Granted, you shot an unrealistic 19.6%, but this season, you've taken 150 shots and have scored 15 goals. For a 200 shot pace, you were on pace for 20 goals, which is going to be 20 goals less than what you did during the 2024 campaign. So yeah, Brock Besser, unfortunately, I'm trading you away here, but I actually think it's for the betterment of our team. And since I know I'm going to be trading Brock Besser away, Will Cooley, I'll actually give you an extension here because this deal is not going to be too bad for us. We'll do $5.2 million for the next 4 seasons. That's a better deal than what we're going to be doing with Brock Besser. Now, I shouldn't really be that surprised. Even after trading everyone on the Buffalo Sabres, we're still a dumpster fire here. 16th in the entire league, a 33-25-3 record, but we know what we have to do. We know we have to trade Brock Besser away, and we're probably going to trade one of our defensemen as well to free up some cap space. I don't want Buchnevich. There's nothing wrong with Buchnevich, but I just don't think we have the cap space for him. Like, Will Cooley hasn't accepted his extension yet. We don't have enough money for Buchnevich. It's that simple. Jason Robertson's having a great season, though. So is Wyatt Johnston. Hronik's doing his thing. Brock Besser's not terrible. But once again, 15 goals through 61 games. What are you doing out there? I need you to be better. Slafkovsky, I'd like a little bit more from you, but you know what? You're playing your role here. Andre Burakovsky, you're minus 10, 35 points. You're not really cooking for me. Also, I just realized if we need to free up cap space for next season, I can trade Andre Burakovsky away and we free up 5.5 million. Yeah, we might just do that. We could also trade Dawson Mercer away and then we free up another 4.5 or something. It's $4 million. So we could free up $9 million just trading these two guys right here. I think that's probably going to happen. When it comes to goaltending, Jeremy Swayman, 29 wins, 3 shots, an 890 and a 336. Yeah, these aren't numbers I'm looking for. Also, Joe Hofer, why have you only played in 8 games? Like, give Jeremy Swayman a bit more support. Alright, so I think this is what we're going to do. Pavel Dorofeyev is going to be picked up here along with Zach Whitecloud. Zach Whitecloud is going to be a really good third pairing defenseman, but at 2.6 million, we're not going to find a better deal. And then Pavel Dorofeyev, 1.7 for the next 2 years. We can make it work here. I'm offering the trade over. I think the game's starting to glitch a little bit. We got offered a trade the exact same time I offered that one. I'm assuming the trade's going to go through. I really hope I didn't accept that deal. Let's go figure out what just happened. Oh no. Oh no, the game broke. The game glitched on me. We got Michael Matheson. We just traded our first round pick away and now we have Michael Matheson. Oh no. This is an absolute disaster. We can't make a deal with Vegas now. I actually don't even know what we gave up in that Montreal trade. I tried to accept Vegas's offer, but instead it accepted Montreal's offer. We're in the trenches here. I don't know what I gave up. I think we got Joel Armia in the deal. I'm pretty sure we got that man, and I don't want him on my team. Yeah, I don't want Joel Armia here. We're paying him $3.4 million to do nothing for me. But on top of that, we have to get rid of Michael Matheson now. I don't even want him on the team. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do here. Actually, yes, I do. This trade actually might work out for us. The game glitching might have worked out for us slightly here because we're still going to be able to get this Vegas deal done, but now we're not going to have to give up blockbuster in the deal. It's Michael Matheson over to the Vegas Golden Knights. Zach Whitecloud, Pavel Dorofeyev. Is this going to be enough for you? Yes, it is. So we're getting the original trade we wanted done, except we don't have our first round pick for this season now. Okay, we could potentially be fleecing a little bit with the Winnipeg Jets. I'm going to try to get their third round pick for next season and their fourth round pick. So I'm going to trade Brock Besser away, but I'm going to retain half of his contract because his contract's only a 1-year deal and we have a ridiculous amount of cap space this season, so it kind of makes sense to retain some of his money. We're going to bring in Cole Perfetti, Barlow, a third and fourth rounder. I think this is a really fair deal. They're saying no. I'll take the fourth round route. This should be enough, and it looks like we're going to get this deal done with Winnipeg. Now, we kind of have a problem here because I'm selling some pieces off, so I think the team's going to be worse. However, we don't own our first round pick now because Montreal stole it from us. We're in a difficult spot. I want to bring in a playmaker for the second line. That's why I went and got Cole Perfetti, but now we have to go get a sniper, and Will Cooley, I know I just gave you an extension, but I don't think I should pay you anymore because I feel like Cutter Gaucher is going to move up to the second line. We should package Will Cooley up with something else and get a sniper. And I'm not talking a Brock Besser sniper who scores 15 goals. I'm talking a true sniper that's actually going to shoot the puck. Alright, we don't have a lot of time left here and we got to make a couple really quick trades. I'm trading a fourth rounder in Burakovsky over to the Anaheim Ducks. We're getting Solberg. We just want to free up 5.5 million. Now we're going to move over to the Florida Panthers and I'm bringing in Carver Hagee. More than likely, Cutter Gaucher is going to have to move to the right wing, but we'll make it work. Now, how exactly are we going to get Carver Hagee? Well, we have a lot of defensemen on this team that actually have some decent trade value. Jake Evans, I actually don't know if I need you anymore, so I think I'm going to trade Jake Evans alongside Riker Evans. That's going to give us Carver Hagee. We have to take somebody back. Just give me an AHL player. So I think this deal should be enough for Carver Hagee. He's going to play some big minutes for us. They're saying no. I'll give you the few draft picks we have. Like, here's a third round pick from the Islanders and a third round pick from the Winnipeg Jets. Hopefully that's going to be enough. They're saying no. What are you offering me now? Adrian Kempe. I don't completely hate this deal. The only thing I don't like is I'm trading my first round pick for next season. But Adrian Kempe would be interesting. Okay, we're going to try to get this deal done for Kempe, but I don't want to give up a first round pick. Can I give up something other than a first round pick? Not really. How about I just do a first round pick for Adrian Kempe? They're willing to do that. We don't have to do the third rounder. So we're getting that deal done with LA. Now let's move back over to Florida because I really want to get for Hagee and I think we can still get him. Alright, so here's what we're doing. Jan Ruda, you're only on a 1-year deal. I get rid of Michael Bunting's contract for next season. That's all we want to do. I believe we have like 2 minutes to get this next deal done. Now we have to fly over to Florida. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to trade for Carver Hagee. So we're going to be running a very questionable team heading into the playoffs, if we even make the playoffs. I don't know how I feel about this team. I think a handful of the guys on expiring contracts are RFAs, so we're not going to be losing anybody. Will Cooley, I highly doubt we have enough money to keep you on this team. I don't really really know what the plan is here. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, based on what Riker Evans is asking for here, it's basically either him or Will Cooley, and I think Will Cooley's going to be accepting his contract first. So yeah, Riker Evans, you're probably not coming back to the team here. Joel Holfer, I don't even know if I can give you an extension. How much money do you want here? 1.5 million? You have played 8 games for me. That's not happening. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Mistakes were made at the trade deadline. Did we go into the trade deadline with a plan? Absolutely not. I was just going to try to figure it out on the fly, and how'd that turn out for us? Very poorly. Like, the team still looks pretty solid here. However, let's take a quick look at our healthy scratches. Zach Whitecloud, Jan Ruda, Dawson Mercer. That is a lot of money tied into healthy scratches. We're on the brink of making the playoffs here. It could really go either way, and we better make the playoffs because we don't own our first round pick because Montreal stole it from us, and I will never forgive them for that. Now, even though I didn't have a plan heading into the trade deadline, it still worked out for the team. 12th in the entire league, a 45, 33, and 4 record. I can't believe we made the postseason here. I'm going to be completely honest. I did not think we were making the playoffs, especially with how things were looking. Jason Robertson, 101 points, 43 goals, 58 helpers. Wyatt Johnson, 85 points, Hronek, 64. And then Adrian Kempe, you did not have good numbers since joining the team, because I know what your goal total was before joining this team. You were not lighting the lamp with us. 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. You were not cooking. In 20 games, you had 5 goals from me. That's like a 20 goal pace over 82 games or something. No, you let the boys down here. Slafkovsky, 56 points. We got to go get some true goal scorers. Pavel Dorofeia, why aren't you playing on the second line? I should have you on the second line. Like, you had 30 goals and 23 helpers for 53 points. I'm moving you up in the lineup. Pavel Dorofeia deserves his respect here. We need him playing some big minutes for us. Jeremy Swayman, you basically played every game this season, like you played in 74 of them. 39 wins, 4 shouts, and 894 and a 328. I need these numbers significantly better heading into the postseason because we have Florida, a team we weren't able to complete a trade with, and that trade might haunt us. Or it's going to work out for the best here and we're going to sweep them in the first round, but I doubt that's going to happen. So expectations are pretty high for the Buffalo Sabres. We're expected to win a Stanley Cup here. Of course we aren't, but we won back-to-back games. How on earth is this team winning back-to-back games? Are we actually going to sweep the Florida Panthers? Hold on, wait a minute. We almost swept this team. We almost swept them, and now we're going to blow a 3-0 series lead. I've seen this before. We're going to choke here. We're going to lose 4 straight games and lose in the first round. That is the Buffalo Sabres way. It only makes sense. No, like, it only makes sense. The Buffalo Sabres have a 3-0 series lead and then blow it in the first round. Kempe and Luce Rain are exchanging goals in the first period. Barakov and Nosek are picking up goals in the second. We really lost this game 5-2. Ain't no way. We had a 3-0 series lead and we still lost. You know what? I'm not taking responsibility for that. I built a good team here. Yes, the regular season record wasn't the best, but we had a 3-0 series lead. There is nothing I can do about that. The boys need to show up for me. No, that's Lindy Ruff's fault. Bro is fired already. He's not coming back to the team. We're getting ourselves a new coaching staff. This team will be back, and they'll be even better. Because we'll actually make some smart moves over the offseason. We'll actually have a plan heading into next season. And that's what we didn't have this season. A plan. We were just figuring it out on the fly. The Edmonton Oilers, Stanley Cup champions. We don't have a lot of draft compensation to work with here. So I guess we'll see what happens. Now, what can I say here? Y'all are all embarrassments. Kempe, you were -8. You're traded. I might even trade you at the draft here. I'm not messing around. Kempe's gone. What are we doing here? Who's projected first overall? Actually, I don't even care. We're not even going to look at the draft class or anything. Detroit, I want the first overall pick from you. I will give you Adrian Kempe. Adrian Kempe, you're off to Detroit. I don't even know who's projected first overall. It could be a franchise potential player, or it could be an absolute bum. I have no clue. All I know is Adrian Kempe is gone. Who's going to be shipped out with him? Probably Riker Evans. We don't have enough money to re-sign him. We need to take on an AHL player. I don't really care what it takes here. I want to get the first overall, even though I have no clue who's projected first overall. Let's just throw all of these draft picks into the deal. Is this enough for the first overall pick? They're saying no. Watch it be a franchise potential player. We're not even going to look at the draft class. Let's just simulate the first overall pick. I am very happy we didn't do that deal. Wow, we would have gotten fleeced. You know what? It's time for us to get back. We have to get our get back against the Montreal Canadiens. They ruined what could have been a Stanley Cup winning team because of that Michael Matheson deal where we had to give up our first round pick. So how am I going to get back at them? Adrian Kempe and Michael Kesselring for Cole Caulfield. We are stealing Cole Caulfield from their team. You will no longer have Cole Caulfield on the team. You don't deserve him. The other reason I trade for Cole Caulfield, he's actually a sniper that will shoot the puck here, and he's going to be very useful for us. Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston, and Slafkovsky will continue to be the first line, and then we'll have Cole Caulfield, Cutter Gaucher, and then a playmaker. Maybe Cole Cole Perfetti, but I don't really know how much faith I have in Cole Perfetti right now. Maybe I'd trade Will Cooley away and get a better playmaker. I think that's the move here. Yeah, so I just love being an absolute idiot and having the recording paused, but this is the move we made. We traded for the 16th overall from the Washington Capitals, and in that deal, we also got the 41st. What we gave up in that deal was Will Cooley and Dawson Mercer. We then flipped these two picks along with Riker Evans over to the San Jose Sharks, and we brought in Will Smith. So now this is what our forward core is looking like. Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston, and Slavkovsky on the top line. Cole Caulfield, Will Smith, Cutter Gauthier on the second line, and then it's going to be Jake Evans, Pavel Dorofeyev, and Cole Perfetti on the third line. That's going to give us a lot of depth here. We have a handful of young guys ready to jump onto the fourth line. When it comes to the defense, we have a handful of really cheap contracts still. We should be able to make everything work now. Also, since we basically have no picks here, yeah, I'm just simulating the entire draft. I don't even care what we get with the 70th overall. Now, when it comes to extensions, we're really not going to do too much here. Jan Ruda, you're going to be leaving the team. Connor Zary, I would like to sign you to a really cheap deal here. 2.5 million is honestly a little bit much for what you provide for us. Like, you're playing fourth line minutes for me, so I'm actually going to qualify you as an RFA. Luke Evangelista, I'm looking around 1.4 million. You know what? That's exactly what you're looking for. So he's going to be returned to the team. Joel Armia, I didn't even want you here from the very beginning. Heineman, I guess I can keep you on this team as long as you're willing to do a two-way contract. You want a one-way at 1.5 million. How about we do 1.4 million? 1.4 for the next 2 years. I can handle that for you. When it comes to everyone else, they're all going to be walking, except for Joel Holfer. I will bring him back, but you better want a cheap deal. We'll do 1.1 million. I think 1.1 is a bit of an overpayment considering what you did for me last season, but I guess I'll take it. And then when it comes to our entire coaching staff, they're all fired. Yeah, like none of them are coming back. Now, honestly, this is what I was scared of. Jason Robertson, Thomas Harley, Brain Schneider, Pavel Dorofeyev, Cutter Gauthier, Cole Perfetti, Zellweger, Tolvanen. How are we going to afford all of these guys? I have no clue, but we're starting with Jason Robertson. How much is he looking for? 12.5 million. That is basically half of our cap space. But you know what? He was the lone guy that performed for us, so I'm willing to keep him on this team. Could we do 11 million with a no movement? Like, you're not going to get traded no matter what here. And you know what? We might be able to do 10 million with a no movement. Jason Robertson, you're an absolute beauty here. Here's 10.2 for the next 6 seasons. You're going to be sticking around. Now, when it comes to Thomas Harley's deal, this is what we're looking at. 6.8 for the next 4 seasons. He's getting a no movement in that final year. So far, we've spent around $17 million. We'll just say 18 so we have an idea how much money we have left. Braden Schneider, I can do 4.7 million or something. I'll actually do 4.6 for the next 4 with you. I think that's going to leave us with about $3 million to work with. And if I'm being honest, Cutter Gauthier, you're the next important piece here. But you want 5.4 million? I don't know about that one. Oh, the rest of these players here, who's willing to sign the cheapest deals? I think it's likely going to be Zellweger. And honestly, we might be onto something here. Zellweger, how much money are you looking for? You want 4.1 million. Okay, we can probably make this work. I'll do 3.9 for the next 4 years with Zellweger. He's an 84 overall. Who is the highest paid defenseman on this team that we don't really need anymore? Oh, basically nobody. Yeah, maybe we actually don't need Zellweger. I kind of regret giving him that deal now. I think we actually have to trade Zellweger now just so we don't have that contract, because our top 4 in defense is all going to be locked down. Then we have Zach Whitecloud as well. Yeah, Zellweger, I regret giving you that deal, so I'm going to trade you right now. Give me like Mason Lowride or something. Give me a really cheap defenseman. Actually, how about we do this instead? Kevin Ball and a 3rd round pick for Zellweger. We don't need him on the team anymore. I gave him a contract that's actually a really good contract for him, but yeah, he just doesn't fit on the team anymore. Let's make this deal. All right, I think this team has a lot of potential for the future. Right now, I think we can compete for a Stanley Cup, but next season, I think we'll be even better. Will Smith's going to develop, and he'll be up to probably like an 88 overall. Same with Cutter Gauthier. Cole Caulfield is what he is, but he's a 90 overall, so I can live with it. Jimmy Snuggerud's going to get better here. Hanzak's going to get better. The bottom 6 is going to improve with all the young guys developing. When it comes to the defense, yeah, we're just going to believe in this. We have so many amazing pieces from top to bottom. There's no weaknesses on the defense whatsoever. If I was going to be worried about one thing, it'd be the fact that Jeremy Swayman's an 85 overall. Why is Jeremy Swayman regressed this much? I have no clue, but you better bounce back this season. Like, I'm not paying you $8 million to do absolutely nothing for me and just regress when you're only like 26 years old. Swayman, I'm gonna need you to lock in. Now look what happens when you get rid of Lindy Ruff. 5th in the entire league, a 39, 18-4 record. Our offense is way better this season. The goaltending is still pretty weak here, and I don't really understand why our goaltending is weak, because we have a lot of good defensive players on this team. So yeah, that part we're just going to completely ignore. Jason Robertson, 81 points. Wyatt Johnston, 79. Cole Caulfield, 55. I just thought about something. Jeremy Swayman, how much am I paying you right now? Like, I'm giving you $8 million. Do you have a no movement clause that has kicked in yet. No, it hasn't. Hear me out. Trade Jeremy Swayman away. He's only an 85 overall. We're paying him way too much money right now. Like, these are the numbers he's putting up. Joel Holford can put up these numbers for me. So Jeremy Swayman, we're going to trade you away. Does it make sense to trade away a really good, young, talented goaltender? Absolutely not. But I just saw Thatcher Demko on the trade block. Okay, this could be a game changer. They are 17-38. How are you that bad? I'm a little concerned with Demko considering their team is that bad, but he has a 915 and a 293. Okay, hold on now. This might be the greatest version of NHL 25 Thatcher Demko we have seen. This man has a 15, 29, and 7 record, yet he has a 916. Demko, we are trading for you. Have you signed an extension quite yet? No, you haven't, so we will have to re-sign you. But I think I could get you for less than what we're paying Jeremy Swayman right now. Vancouver would be over the maximum cap for next season. Okay, that's perfectly fine. We'll flip Jeremy Swayman elsewhere. Who is interested in Jeremy Swayman? Not too many teams, but the Columbus Blue Jackets are. So how about you give me Jet Greaves just so we can make the contracts work here, and then give me a couple picks. Like, you give me 2 second rounders and a third. I don't think we'll be able to get all of this. I'll take one of the second rounders out. I think we should be able to get a second and third round pick though. They're saying no. I'll give you a couple later round draft picks. Like, here's a 6th and 7th rounder. Is that going to be enough to get this one done? Perfect. Now we're going to move over to Vancouver and we're bringing Thatcher Demko to the team. Now I will say right now, if something happens and we lose Thatcher Demko in free agency, I can live with that. So this is what the Thatcher Demko deal is going to look like. Jake Evans and 2 second round picks can be sent over. Maybe we don't need 2 second rounders. One might be enough here. I'm very happy I didn't offer 2 second rounders. Thatcher Demko, welcome to the team. We might have lost Jake Evans, but that's not the end of the world because we need to clear up a little bit of cap space. And Jake Evans, unfortunately, you're one of the guys that had to be moved. So we have Thatcher Demko. We know he's going to be a difference maker for us. The real question is, how much money is he looking for when it comes to an extension? I don't think you should be asking for too much considering how bad his team is, but Demko, could we do sub $7 million? He wants $9 million is a bit much here. I'm going to be completely honest. However, this is NHL 25 Thatcher Demko we're talking about. So how about I give you $8 million with a no movement? That doesn't really get your interest up quite enough. So how about we do 8.4 with a no movement? 8.4 with a no movement should be enough for Thatcher Demko. That's going to leave us with like $7 million to work with. And then Cutter Gaucher, we're going to figure it out here because right now you want $9 million. We can't do $9 million here. Like, I think realistically what I can do right now is 7.5 with a no movement. And you're not even looking for a no movement right now. So yeah, I think we're going to have to wait till the salary cap goes up a little bit. Thatcher Demko, I am praying you accept that deal I just offered you. Also, I just want to point this out because I think it's a little bit funny. We freed up absolutely no money in that deal. Like, we brought Thatcher Demko to the team and then basically gave him Jeremy Swayman's contract. So we are paying that man the exact same as Jeremy Swayman, meaning we freed up no money whatsoever. I guess we freed up Jake Evans's contract, so we freed up the smallest bit of money. But truthfully, the main reason we made that deal, it's a 4 overall jump and he is a superstar X factor. So yeah, I'll definitely take the goaltender who's 4 overalls higher, especially if I'm going to be paying him the exact same amount. Now, the Buffalo Sabres had a strong finish to the season, finishing 3rd in the entire league with a 52, 24, and 6 record, 3.72 goals per game. That's going to be the 3rd best in the NHL. And then when it comes to defense, we're not going to talk about that. But the real question is, Thatcher Demko, what'd you do since joining the team? Because I think you turned things around here. Jason Robertson, 100 points. Wyatt Johnston, 95. Cole Caulfield, Will Smith, they're going to be both picking up 71 here. And then when it comes to Thatcher Demko, since joining the team, he's putting up pretty solid numbers here. 9 wins, 4 losses, 2 overtime losses, 1 shutout, a 911 and a 271. These are certainly better than what we have with Jeremy Swayman. He's showing up big time for me, but can the legend of NHL 25 Thatcher Demko show up in the postseason? Because we have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round, and I refuse to lose in the first round to the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's not happening. Like, I absolutely refuse to lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round here. We're not having back-to-back first round exits. We're actually not even going to talk about what happened last postseason. We dropped the first 3 games. You know what? How about we just move on to next season? At the end of the day, am I really surprised? We're the Buffalo Sabres. Like, this actually has nothing to do with the team I have, the coaches I have, or literally anything that has to do with our team. We're the Buffalo Sabres franchise. Why would we ever see any success? Nah, but in reality, that is crazy work right there. Like, we were the 3rd best team in the entire league, and we got swept to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. That's wild. Now, out of everything that happened during the postseason, there's only one comment I can really make here. Cutter Gaucher, you cannot command $9 million. I don't care if you're an 88 overall. You were -2, 0 points, and took 8 shots. shots. You cannot command $9 million. You didn't even show up in the most important games. Neither did Thatcher Demko though. He had an 854 and a 415. We just gave that man an absolute bag. Yeah, things are not going well for the Buffalo Sabres franchise. What can I say? Now, I'm happy to say Cutter Gauthier has smartened up. However, I'm not a big fan of this contract. 7.7 for the next 5 years. Like 7.7 for an 89 overall isn't bad by any means, but you remember how that man performed during the postseason? Why am I giving him that much money? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I thought things couldn't get worse, but they certainly can. 4 straight misses in the draft. We're not even getting a good prospect here. Nothing good is happening for the team right now. So we have $4.7 million to work with. Cole Perfetti, I'm qualifying you as an RFA and you'll be leaving the team. Pavel Dorfeu, you're being qualified as an RFA. And then Connor Zary, how much money do you want? You didn't play for me at all last season. You want $2 million. Could we do a 2-year deal at $2 million? You're saying no to that? I mean, how about we do 1.8 or something? I need you on a pretty cheap deal here, 1.75. If we can keep Connor Zary around for that price, it's an absolute steal considering he's an 84 overall. If he says no to that, we'll do 1.8. So Connor Zary, I'll do 1.8 for next season. More than likely, you're going to end up walking into free agency next season, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I just need you for the bottom 6. Now, when it comes to goaltending, we have a lot of different options here. Jack Reeves, I think you might be the backup next season. You want 1.2 million. How much does Joel Holfer want? I mean, we'll likely re-sign both of these guys, but he only wants 800k. If we do 800k for 2 seasons, yes, we can. So Joel Holfer, you're sticking around. When it comes to Jack Reeves, though, we're going to qualify him as an RFA because I'm pretty sure I can get him for less than 1.2 million. All right, I'm going to be honest. I have no clue what we're going to do with this team in the future, but we're going to figure it out. Will Smith, how much money do you want? You want 5.7 million. Okay, that actually makes things very simple. I was expecting this man to be looking for like $8-9 million. Nope, we're doing 5.5 for the next 4 years. I'll actually do 5.6 just so we can guarantee he comes to the team. So 5.6 for Will Smith. He's going to be returning. Connor Zary, you're likely going to be walking, but I actually do have your RFA rights next season, so I guess it won't be as difficult as I thought. Jimmy Snuggerud, you're probably only looking at about $2 million. We'll sign him for the next 2 seasons at 1.9, so he's sticking around for the rest of the rebuild. Hanzek, I'm looking to do basically the exact same thing with you. We'll do 1.5 for the next 2 years. And then Heineman, 800k for the next 2. That's an absolutely spectacular deal. So yeah, basically we just solved all of our salary cap problems. We're good to go. So this is what we're going to do with Cole Perfetti. We're just going to keep this deal really simple. 1-for-1. Perfetti for Frank Nazar. Yes, we could get a 7th round pick in this deal, but I don't really care too much about the 7th round pick. Like at the very max, I'm adding a 7th round pick to that deal. I just couldn't be bothered to get that. They're only lucrative 7th round picks when I own them. If I don't own them, they're not lucrative. Now, I think this will be the final trade before we move into next season. Pavel Dorfeu and Solberg are going to be sent over to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Cole Sillinger's joined the team because he's on a cheap contract, 1.8 for the next 3 years. And we're also going to bring in Demko Tage. He could potentially play some third-pairing minutes for me next season. They're saying no to this deal because they want the lucrative 7th round pick. I don't want the lucrative 7th round pick, but every other team in the league wants these lucrative 7th round picks. And surprisingly, they actually want a lucrative 6th round pick as well. No, they're just being greedy at this point. So here's a 6th round pick on top of the 7th I was just offering you, and now we can get the deal done. Now, there's not really too much I can say here. We know this team right here is going to be a top 3 team in the NHL. We know the defense is going to disappoint us, even though I don't understand how this defense right here could disappoint us, but that's neither here nor there. Once we get into the playoffs, we're going to get smoked in the first round. I don't care if we win 65 games this season. We will somehow collapse in the first games of the postseason. Maybe I shouldn't say the first games of the postseason, because in year number 1, we were great through the first 3 games of the postseason. Then the next 4 happened, and we don't talk about those next 4. Now, the Buffalo Sabres look really good right now, 2nd in the entire league, a 42-13-6 record. The Dallas Stars are clearly the best team in the entire league, but I just want to point out our defense this season. 2.59 goals allowed per game. That is significantly better than last season. Why is it such a big change? I have no clue, but maybe it's because we had Thatcher Demko for the entire season. Wyatt Johnston, Jason Robertson, Cole Caulfield, Slafkovsky, Cutter Gauthier, Thomas Harley, Will Smith, Hronek. Y'all know what you have to do here. And then when it comes to Thatcher Demko's numbers, he has a 924 and a 230. I can't wait for this to not happen in the postseason, and this team completely collapses and we lose in the first round in 5 games. We're not making any trades because why would I waste future assets when I know we're going to lose? I'm not going to lie, this is just going to make a first round exit hurt a little bit more. We actually surpassed the Dallas Stars in the standings. We're now the best team in the entire league, the President's Trophy winners, a 56-16-10 record. We better not lose in the first round now. Wyatt Johnston 102 points, Jason Robertson 92 points, Cole Caulfield 77, Slafkovsky 76, 76, Cutter Gaucher 76. We have a really good team here. Goaltending is spectacular. Look at Thatcher Demko, 45 wins, 8 shouts, a 930 and a 215. You can't let me down. We have the Florida Panthers in the first round. Why are the Florida Panthers a wild card team? We could be in a lot of trouble here. Like seriously, how on earth are the Florida Panthers a wild card team? We know how good this team is. We're in the year 2027. We're not that far away from the current Stanley Cup winning Florida Panthers team. They won game number 1. That's not a good sign. We better not drop game number 2. We drop game number 2. We are not going out like this. You can't make this up. We were down 3-0 in the series. We won game number 4. I don't even care. I really don't care that we won game number 4 because we're not winning 4 straight games. I just can't see it happening. This is crazy. Like, this is beyond ridiculous. What on earth do I have to do in order for this team to win a Stanley Cup? Thatcher Demko, we all saw your numbers. We all knew what you were capable of this season. And these are your postseason numbers, an 893 and a 362. I'm sorry, but that didn't just happen. You didn't just post a 930 and a 215 during the regular season and then completely collapse in the postseason along with the Buffalo Sabres team. Like, this is wild work. I don't even know what to say here. I'm absolutely speechless. I'm not really speechless because I'm just completely yapping here, but that really just happened. We got smoked. Oh, by the way, in case you were curious, you know who won the Stanley Cup? It wasn't the Florida Panthers. No, it can't be that unrealistic. We can't have a wildcard team winning the Stanley Cup. Nope, it was actually the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup, meaning they beat Florida in the second round. I hate this. Now, normally I would actually be happy with a lowly potential player in the first round, but I'm not happy because we lose in the first round all the time. So seeing success in the first round of the draft, I don't want that. I want success in the first round of the postseason. Alright, so Connor Zary, you're not coming back to the team. I'm qualifying you as an RFA. Luke Evangelista, you're likely not coming back to this team. How much do you want? You want 2.9 million. I guess I could bring you back for that price. Can we do a 2-year deal though? You don't want to sign a 2-year deal. I'm qualifying you as an RFA and trading you away. Denton and Tage, I had dreams of you playing third pairing minutes for us. Then I realized how much money you're asking for. I can't do that, so I'm going to qualify you as an RFA as well. We'll sign these 2 rookies, and then we're just moving on to next season to get disappointed again. Then again, am I really surprised? Like, we're the Buffalo Sabres franchise. Why would we not get disappointed? Also, when it comes to goaltenders, we can finally sign Jack Reeves to a 2-year contract, so he's going to be getting 800k for the next 2 seasons. Now, normally in situations like this, I would just run the exact same team for the final 2 seasons, but why on earth would I do that when this team hasn't won anything? We have lost in the first round the past 3 seasons. I am not running back the exact same team for the final 2 seasons. Unless we win a Stanley Cup this upcoming season, then I'll run it back for the final year. But yeah, I'm not going to run back a losing team for the next 2 seasons. We're not doing that. Siegenthaler, I'm also not keeping you on the team. You want $9 million. We're not doing that. I'm going to trade you over to Calgary, and we'll probably get Zane Parekh. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. We're going to trade Siegenthaler over to the Minnesota Wild. Z Bouillon, welcome to the team. You're under contract for the next 4 years at $4.8 million. It's a cheap enough deal for me. Also, for these final 2 seasons, I'm willing to trade absolutely everything. Denton Matejchuk, Connor Zary, and our first round pick for Porter Martone. I need you to play some bottom 6 minutes for me. If 1 first round pick is enough, here's another first round pick. This should be enough. Y'all are wildin', okay? We're not getting Porter Martone. Alright, so how about we do this? Denton Matejchuk and Connor Zary for Adam Fantilli. They're obviously going to say no to that, but if I give you a first round pick, it probably should be enough. So more than likely, this is going to be enough for Adam Fantilli. I'm going to offer this package over. Columbus is saying yes. Perfect. Now we have Adam Fantilli for the rest of the rebuild. Are we going to need him for the rest of the rebuild? I'm not really too sure, but we'll figure it out. So this is where our next deal is going to be. Luke Evangelista and Zach Whitecloud are going to be shipped over to the Rangers. Zach Jones and Euro Vakanen are going to be our defensemen on the third pairing. We're also going to get Gabe Perreault in this deal. We'll figure out what Gabe Perreault's role is going to be later, but we're bringing him to the team. Now, if we don't win a Stanley Cup this season, I'm going to lose my mind. Cole Sillinger, Kevin Ball, you're being sent over to the Ducks. We're bringing in Seneca. I can't build a better team than what we have right here. Unless I turn the salary cap off, I'm not building a better team. We are absolutely elite from top to bottom. Technically, in the past, I have built better teams than this, but I have never built a team this good that has lost in the first round 3 straight times. That has never happened before. It's one thing to build an elite team and then losing the conference finals, losing the Stanley Cup final, and not see a lot of Stanley Cup winning success. It's another thing to build a team this elite and then not make it out of the first round, because that's absolutely ridiculous. Gabe Perreault, I'm keeping you on the team. We'll do 2.2 million, maybe even 2.1 for the next 3 seasons. I'll actually make that 2.2 million. So you're going to be sticking around. Vakanen, we'll deal with you later. Now we're changing things up. Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston, Cole Caulfield on the first line, Slafkovsky, Will Smith, Cutter Gaucher on the second, Seneca, Adam Fantilli, Gabe Pro on the third line. We're not stopping at the trade deadline. We're not making any adjustments with this team. We are going to ride with the guys that we have. 92 overall Thatcher Demko has to steal me some games in the postseason. You are incredible during the regular season, but I need you to steal me games in the postseason. I can't have you recording 8 shutouts again during the regular season and then losing in 5 games in the postseason. That can't happen. You can't have more shutouts than games played in the playoffs. That's just not right. All right, we have the ops. No face cam, no looking at stats, no looking at the standings. We're taking on the Florida Panthers. We have not had a lot of success against the Florida Panthers. We better win game number 1 here. We have to lock in. For the first time in a long time, we're winning game number 1, and we've won game 2, but that means nothing because we've had a 3-0 series lead and then proceed to lose 4 games after that. We have to win game number 3. We're dropping that one. That's not a great sign. We have a 3-1 series lead. Give me one more victory. All I ask for is one more victory here. Let's get past the Florida Panthers. It's a glorious day. We have gotten past the Florida Panthers. We're moving on to the second round. I never thought I would see the day. Like, this team has been a dumpster fire for so long. I never thought we would see any success here. But here we are moving on to the second round, and we get the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team that has taken us down before, but we will get our revenge. This is revenge season right now. We're going to beat all the teams that have beaten us. We won the first 2, but then we dropped game number 3. We won game 4, so we have a 3-1 series lead. Close it out in game number 5, and we'll be moving on to the conference finals, but it's not going to be happening. We have to win game number 6 now. Do not blow a 3-1 series lead. We can't blow a 3-1 series lead. We've lost. We're done. We lost 10-2 in game number 6. We have 0 momentum. We have negative momentum heading into this next game. I'm sorry, but you don't lose game 6 10-2 and then respond in game 7. That just doesn't happen. We have no momentum whatsoever, and that's going to cost us here. A late goal from Jason Robertson is not going to be enough. What a surprise. After losing game 6 10-2, we're not going to be able to respond. We have one more season with the Buffalo Sabres to win a Stanley Cup. I don't even know what we do because things were looking great, and then we lost a game 10-2. Thatcher Demko allowed 10 goals in a game. More than likely not. He probably only allowed 3 in the first period, then got pulled, and then we threw Jet Greaves or Joe Holfer in net, and then they got absolutely let up. The New York Rangers are Stanley Cup champions. We have one more season with this Buffalo Sabres team. So moving into the final season, what do? Will Smith was our top performer. Jason Robertson, Cole Caulfield, Thomas Harley, Cutter Gaucher, Slafkovsky. I mean, you guys did your things here. Wyatt Johnston was -4. That's not really ideal. The third line was terrible. The third line really shouldn't be letting us down this much. Like Adam Fantilli, Gabe Pro, Seneca. Why were you -3, -4, and -4? You shouldn't be doing that out there. Meanwhile, Thatcher Demko, I don't care about your numbers. Look what Joel Holfer did. A 647 and a 996. You allowed 6 goals in 36 minutes played. Yeah, Demko, you're very lucky that Joel Holfer had these type of numbers, because if he didn't, I would be ripping into you right now for posting a 311. Yeah, so I'm not even focused on the draft here. I just went ahead and simulated the entire draft. Like, I don't care about who we draft whatsoever. We only have one season. The players we just drafted aren't going to be helping us this season. When it comes to the re-sign phase, we're not re-signing anyone. We're going to bring in one elite defenseman, and then we're going to be ready for next season. We are going to run it back with a majority of the same team. Is that the wrong decision? Probably, considering how much success we've seen in this video. But you know what? We don't really have any other options here. The team that we had last season is the one where we saw the most success with, and we lost in game 7 of the second round. So you know what? We just have to trust what we have here and then pray they don't allow 10 goals in game 6 and then proceed to lose game 7. Now we need to bring in a replacement for Eurovac and Annan. So what I'm going to do is a first rounder, a second rounder, and Matthew Wood for Sam Dickinson. Unfortunately, this isn't enough. I'll give you another second rounder as well. If we have to do multiple first rounders, I'm really not against it. I just need an elite defenseman for the third pairing. We got Sam Dickinson. Now I would like to make one more trade here. What is that trade going to be? I have no clue, but it's going to involve a first rounder, 2 third rounders, and then maybe one of our better players. When I say better players, I mean somebody like Snuggerud. So this is what we'll do. It's going to be a first rounder, 2 third rounders, and Barlow sent over to the St. Louis Blues. We're bringing in Jake Neighbors. He's going to play some fourth line minutes for me at an 85 overall. We're bringing in Zachary Bolduc. He's going to play some fourth line minutes for me at an 84 overall. If we can't win this season, the Buffalo Sabres franchise will never see success. So it's our final chance with this Buffalo Sabres team. I'm keeping Cole Caulfield and Jason Robertson on the top line together. They were able to lead us to the second round, and that's more success than we've seen in the past. When it comes to the second line, 89 overall, 91, 92. You can't ask for a better second line. When it comes to the bottom 6, we have 85 and 86 overalls on the fourth line. You can't expect better than that. The entire defense looks amazing here. We have 390 overalls. And then when it comes to goaltending, Thatcher Demko's dropped to an 89 overall. I don't care about that. This man has shown up for me time and time again during the regular season. Now it's time for him to show up in the playoffs. You get one more chance, Thatcher Demko, and if you can win a Stanley Cup with this Buffalo Sabres team right here, I might buy your jersey. I probably won't because it's going to cost too much money, but I'll consider it. Not really, I'm definitely not buying it. Now it all comes down to this, our final season. First in the entire league, a 60-17-5 record. We are the only 60-win team. We have the best offense in the entire league at 4.15 goals per game. That's going to be 17 more goals than the New Jersey Devils. When it comes to goaltending, 2.5 goals allowed. That's going to be 14 goals less than the Florida Panthers. On top of having the best offense and the best defense, we had 3 point-a-game scorers, including 2 guys who were over 100 points. Wyatt Johnston, 103 points. Jason Robinson, 101 points. Cole Caulfield, 99 points. The second line was doing their thing. Cutter Gauthier, Slafkovsky, Will Smith, y'all look great this season. When it comes to goaltending, we have these numbers from Thatcher Demko. 15 wins, a 917, and a 241. Give me a Stanley Cup. Give me one Stanley Cup in the final season here. If y'all lose in the first round, I will actually lose my mind and I will never rebuild the Buffalo Sabres again. The 4 Buffalo Sabres fans that watch my videos are in the absolute trenches right now. They don't want me to never rebuild this team again because I'm the only reason that this team sees any type of success. We're winning game number 1 in a shutout. That's great. We scored 10 goals in game number 2, 7 goals in game 3. We're going to close it out in game 4. Why are we doing this? Why are we like this? Why do we do stuff like this? We lost game number 4, 8-4. Luckily, we are going to be responding in game 5, but why are we losing game 4, 8-4? After absolutely dominating, why do we decide, nah, we don't want to play hockey anymore. We don't want to show up. We're moving on to the second round. We have the Boston Bruins. We have never made it past the second round in this video. We won game number 1. We won game 2 as well. We're dropping game 3, but responding in game 4. We have to win one more game. One more game puts us in the conference finals. That's all I'm asking for. There we go. We're in the conference finals. This is the furthest we've made it with this team, and now we have the New Jersey Devils. We know the Devils have an elite offense. It was the second best in the entire league, only behind ours, but we're going to be winning the first 2 games, but then dropping the next 2 after that. Our defense hasn't been elite. It has to be elite moving forward. It is not being elite right now. We can't afford to drop game 6. Game 6 is a must win for the Buffalo Sabres. We're exchanging goals in the first period, moving on to the second period. I'm sorry, but we did not just lose to Ersson. Ersson is the starting goaltender. You're telling me they can score 5 straight goals on Thatcher Demko, including a goal from Brandon Carlo, offensive defensive defenseman Brandon Carlo, and we're not going to score on Ersson. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I need to go look at this man's overall. I don't even care who wins the Stanley Cup. We're not even going to finish this season. Nope, there's going to be no Stanley Cup winner in the final season here. I need to look at Ersson's overall because I am sorry, ain't no way that man right there stopped our offense. There is no way the New Jersey Devils defense stopped our offense here. Jason Robinson, 28 points. Wyatt Johnston, 28 points. Cole Caulfield, 24. How was Cole Caulfield only +1? Jason Robinson was +1, and then Wyatt Johnston had a ±0. How is that possible? How is it possible Will Smith is -6? He was above a point a game. Kargoshe, -4. He was above a point a game. Hronek was a point a game. Slafkovsky was 1 point below a point a game, and he was -5. Demko, were your numbers just atrocious? Yes, they were. An 878 and a 384. What on earth happened with this Buffalo Sabres team, and what on earth happened in this video? Ersson currently has a 920 and a 286, and he is 12-3 in the postseason. He is an 83 overall. We have Thatcher Demko, who is an 89 overall, superstar X factors, everything you could ask for in a goaltender. He is currently being outplayed by Ersson and Carter George. What's Carter George's overall? Let's make a prediction right here. He's 23 years old. We're about 5 years into the rebuild. I believe he starts off as like a 71 overall. My prediction is he is an 82 overall. Okay, he's an 86. That is a respectable enough overall. Carter George, I can understand how you're leading your team to a Stanley Cup. But respectfully, Ersson, I didn't realize you were that guy. I did not realize that you were him. And whenever I have Thatcher Demko on my team, he is not that guy. This was not NHL 25 Thatcher Demko we saw today, but instead we just saw the average Buffalo Sabres experience. Yep, when you build an elite team with the Buffalo Sabres, they will always let you down. It does not matter who is on the Buffalo Sabres. They will always find a way to let you down.